Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bunch of results over the past weekend. We had BCS White Plains, as well as some of the WGP in Malaysia and in Japan. So we're going to cover all the results, everything that went down. There's some pretty spicy stuff. So yeah, let's just crack on with it. If you guys need any coaching for the BCS season, hit me up on my Metafy. My link is in the bottom right hand corner and in the description. Feel free to book a session because my bookings are getting filled up as we speak. So feel free to book a session and we can get started on your season. So standard is as we expect. So 3 Gandiva, one of, I guess, in every other department. So 1 Minerva, Messiah, Eva, Majesty Lord. Just seems like this deck that the US really like. And Shojodoji, pretty interesting. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But yeah, majority Gandiva as we expect. Surprisingly, no Willista. And I think this comes with the fact that a lot of the Willista players would be playing V Premium on the same day. All the better players would bring, Willista. I think Willista is pretty busted. So to see no Willista on here is very surprising to me. Anyways, going into what, came down, who got their world invites. First place was a Messiah. Absolutely not on my radar at all. I definitely didn't think that Messiah would take first place. So congrats to Daniel for taking it. Second was Eva. So this had the DBT 11 support. So the poison version of Eva, very, very cool to see. Third was Gandiva. Gandiva's still pretty busted. And fourth was MLB, MLB still doing its thing. And the US really love, cooking with some gas. So yeah, MLB came fourth. Unlucky, short of a Worlds invite. But the top 3, congrats. See you guys at Worlds. Then jumping to V Premium, 3 Aqua Force. This is as we expect. Thavas is this deck that is very, very strong, very consistent. And then, touch on with Luard, Gurgut, both very, very good decks. And a Steam Maiden, a Fenrir, and a Highlander. Very, odd picks to be picking for V Premium. But, not completely odd picks because we have seen Fenrir in the past, taking top spots. I know that it took, I think last year, in Australia for BCS in the Steam Maiden era, it got X2, potentially even X1, came into the top cut, and we've seen Fenrir in the European region as well. Highlander did make some impact last season as well, so not unfamiliar faces, but this one Steam Maiden without Enterana, still getting the the tops. And then the Steam Maiden took it all, taking first place. Congratulations, Joseph, for your Worlds invite. Second was Thavas, and then third was the Highlander. So very interesting to see Highlander in the third position. Sometimes you play Highlander, you go first, you absolutely roll your opponent, and there is nothing they can do about it. And yeah, this might have just happened in a best of 1. That's just how it is. So congrats to all the players, getting your Worlds invite. I'll see you guys at Worlds, and hope to meet face to face. That'd be really cool. Then jumping to Premium, so lots of spice here. 3 Bermuda Triangle, 1 of them being Melista, and then 2 of them being Highlander. 2 Link Joker, 1 DP, 1 Narukami, and 1 Mega Colony. The distribution or the conversion rate of Narukami is very surprising to me. But that's probably because you're going into a field of Gridora and CBD. Narukami would beat Gridora, but CBD makes it so that Eradicators actually has a pretty hard time. You have to keep all your re-rides, otherwise you lose your Excel circles, and if you lose your Excel circles, then, less attacks, right? And then if your opponent starts locking your original rear guards and then starts unlocking them, popping your front row rear guards, getting rid of your Excel, your attacks are limited, essentially. But if it is a world of Gridora, Eradicators, and Link Joker, Highlander is actually a really good pick because Highlander hasn't changed from the previous season. If not, has taken out all of its useless stuff and put in more consistency in terms of aggression, right? Highlander has a very high ceiling. And very impactful once you get to the grade 3 ride. Sometimes you can just blow your opponent out of the waters like in V, and there is nothing they can do about it. And because a lot of decks don't play Rollock, these decks can't afford to play Rollocks, right? So Highland just obliterates, right? And then Melista are a very toxic deck. Yeah, just ban it, right? And DP just doing DP things, One Punch Man, see you later, all right? And that's pretty much how it is. And then looking at, you know, the top 4, congratulations to my boy Steven from WCC taking it first place. Really, really happy to see you, you know, going to Worlds again. I know you bombed out in Toronto, so, you know, seeing you first place with Highlander, TLDR, all right? Make sure you guys go check the deck log code. It is very shiny. So big respect to that. Second place was Chaos, third was Chaos, and fourth was Melista. The fact that there's 2 Chaos up there, not surprising that Highlander would, you know, overtake Chaos. But I think Steven played against the Melista in top 4 and beat that. So, you know, there are sometimes unoptimal plays or whatever, and, you know, sometimes you brick or whatever the case may be, and you just win, right? So yeah, very, very cool. So congratulations to all the players here. See you guys at Worlds. And then jumping to Season 3 of WGP in Malaysia. This is the introduction of set 13. Set 13. With Youthberg, Leonon, and Jejul being the big powerhouse decks, but this pie chart does not say that at all. There is a huge distribution in multiple different decks. The only double up is Youthberg. So 2 Youthberg, 1 Leonon, 1 Prison, 1 Mega Lonozuchi, 1 Mushi King, 1 Mikazuki, and 1 Maigo, which is the Bang Dream collab deck. Very, very interesting to see a lot of these, you know, off big 3 decks taking it there, and not to see Jejul on here as well. But I guess a lot of people really like Youthberg, right? So yeah, and you know, the fact that we get to see some of the other decks still being retained, like, you know, Munechika and Mushi King, you know, these decks were really good in the previous meta, and to still see them here is very, very good. Then the top 4, first place was a Youthberg, so we can definitely see Youthberg is going to take a huge impact in this meta game. You know, once the introduction of DBT 13 comes out, and I think set 13 will be available for Worlds as well. So, you know, if you're playing standard for Worlds, look out for Youthberg. And then second was Leonon. Leonon, another very good deck. And the fact that it's only one of the top 8 coming in and coming second place, very, very good. Third place was Prison, very off pick, I guess. Would have expected to see the other Youthberg there. And then fourth place was the Megalonazuchi. You know, still a good deck, but very, very surprising to see this in comparison to a lot of the other decks, like, you know, Willistar, Gandiva, a lot of the other decks, you know. But I think it's just purely outclassed by the new decks coming into, you know, the meta from set 13. So yeah, congratulations to all the players here. Then we'll also jump to the Deluxe Cup in Chiba. So again, a very, very diverse pie chart to start, I guess, a new format. Again, doubling up on the Youthberg, otherwise one of everything else. Leonon, Jejul, Jeva, Maigo again, Mikazuki, Ezel, Orphis, Hero, Minerva, Bastion, Overlord, Lutetia, Eva, and Shojodoji. And then Shojodoji took it all. How? I don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't see Youthberg on here either. And then second place was a Leonon, third was Maigo, and then fourth was Jejul. Big respect to the Jejul player. Really keen to actually play the deck once it comes out, and, you know, might start testing that deck. But yeah, very cool to see that, you know, these decks that came out from set 13, immediate impact. And the fact that Shojodoji, we've seen none of this at all. And, you know, you just come in, take first place, call it a day, you know, jump into a qualifier. You qualified for whatever the next tournament is, Nationals, I think, Japan Nationals, and free. Absolutely free, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the, I guess, the landscape of what DBT 13 is, I guess, in the interim, so to say. You know, set 13 just came out. Everyone's still experimenting with decks. We can definitely see that there's a lot of Youthberg, but there is a lot of diversity now because a lot of people are trying to experiment with different decks. So, you know, take these results with a grain of salt. Obviously, the meta will start to shift in the coming weeks, but this is pretty much a really good indication as to what the meta will probably look like. A lot more Youthberg, a lot more Leonon. Maigo seems to be, you know, a deck that, you know, you guys should look out for, and then obviously Jejul as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the results this weekend. If you guys like this video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of all the results over the weekend. If you guys haven't already, click subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.